What's up, everybody? This is Pensive Brothers Podcast. This is Aaron.
And I'm Elliot.
I hope everybody out there is having a fantastical day, fantastical week.
Fantastical.
Yeah, man. You know what I've been wanting? Some yeast rolls.
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
I like, seriously, though. I have been wanting some yeast rolls since, like, early this morning. So I saw a video on TikTok, and it's like it's been in my head all day, and I'm like going through it. So I am going to make grandma's recipe, and I'm gonna make some yeast rolls.
Oh,
yeah, and they might not turn out too good the first time.
Of course not.
I'm planned on making 2 sets. One set the first time to taste it and be like, okay, this is what I want to do better next time, and then the real set.
I mean, listen, talk to our cousin. You know,
No, I have her actual written down recipe.
I know, but Tony got it down pat because he made it the last time we had a gathering. So just get with him.
No, I want to try it on my own first. Then I'm definitely gonna ask.
Listen, I understand. I mean, you know, you give it a shot because maybe you get it. Maybe you just one in a lifetime. You like the yeast roll master, and you just
maybe.
bang it out. But
like, you know. So that will segue me into what I wanted to talk about here.
Oh, you didn't even want to talk about yeast rolls. You just
no. It's a comfort food. So that segues me into comfort in general. So comfort is one of those things, man. It's such an individualized topic. You know, it's something I've been thinking about. Like, the things that make a person comfortable, the things that make a person happy or feel at home or whatever you want to call it, are so different for everybody. And I guess the reason I wanted to talk about it is I was wondering, what do you think are the things that make you comfortable in general? Like, just whether it's, you know, a person, a food, a mood, a type of music. Like, what are some things that make you comfortable and things that make you uncomfortable?
I mean, for real, like, comfortable is, I don't even know if that's the right word. I really like being at home and spending time with my wife. Like, that's what I like to do. Like, and not like, oh, we gotta be up under each other watching RuPaul or like some ridiculous nonsense that I don't want to watch. No, like, sometimes we just, I'm sorry. If you like RuPaul's Drag Race, you just like trash, and that's okay. You know, it is.
Why is it trash?
Because it's nothing is actually happening in that show. Yeah.
And for the record, it's not trash because they're drag queens.
No, it's trash because nothing happens.
It's nonsense. Like Bad Girls Club and all of those shows where black people get up there and fight each other.
America's Next Top Model, Kardashians, like, all of these shows are about
people who are famous for being famous.
And they're just on treadmills of doing nothing. But back to the point. No, I really like, sometimes me and her will be like in our computer room, studio room, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be on my computer and I'll be doing whatever, making music, playing video games, whatever I'm doing. And she'll be behind me doing whatever she's doing, watching videos. Sometimes she's watching shows. Sometimes she's, you know, playing whatever game she's on. Sometimes we play games together. Like, we play TFT. It's like a League of Legends game.
Really?
Pretty fun. Yeah, we play it together.
Really?
Yeah. And we'll talk. It's nice. It's like, it's good together time where we just get to spend time together and we can just, like, hang in there and chill out. And, like, that's really,
that's your comfort zone, right?
High quality time for me. And then the other thing is, like, I like being in places where I'm competent. I don't even want to be, like, the best person in the room, though it always tends to, like, end up that way. Just
of course.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't like not knowing what's going on. So
yeah.
I'm like, nah, I gotta try and figure this out so I can be competent. But then once I get to a certain level of competency, like, I can be good wherever I'm at, as long as I sort of know what I'm doing. Like, that's, for me, that's what it takes.
See, so, okay, first of all, to go off on a little tangent here, I totally feel you on the not wanting to be in a place where you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We had the discussion about Mortal Kombat and how I was like, okay, I need to win. So I literally went home and practiced so that I would be in the comfort zone.
Yeah, you don't even necessarily got to win every time. You just need to not be last. Like, you need to not be getting worked every time.
But yes, exactly.
Don't whisper at me.
But like no, I totally feel you. Like, my comfort zone, I have a couple of different ones, but my main comfort zone is, because, you know, I'm like a dramatic, emotional feels guy.
You?
So
never.
My comfort zone like Elliot, the perfect example of my comfort zone was when we bought our new TV stand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Downstairs, you mean?
yes, so I got a new TV stand,
Mm-hmm.
and Halia and I got candles. We got that Chandler's
Oh
thing
yeah,
from the wedding.
yeah. You got
Like,
all of the.
put our picture frames on it. And so one day we were watching Daredevil on Netflix, the greatest TV show of all time, and we lit the candles. We turned the light off. So the candles and the TV lit the room up because I have a gigantic TV. Elliot, we were eating. It was the surround sound was going. The new surround sound I just bought, by the way. I just got that for the wedding.
Shout out.
So we had the candles going, my favorite TV show going. It was me and her in a quiet house. All the lights were off, but like the level of comfort that I felt in the house that moment, like spending that quality time with her, watching something good, eating something good. That is my comfort zone. Is being at home, having some candles lit, and another place of my comfort zone is definitely music. I love good vibes. Like, I love good vibes.
Okay, what's good vibes to you?
So a good R&B song, some candles, like we talked about Didn't You Know with Erykah Badu. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like the bass line, a good R&B song. Like When We by Tank. That's another one. Like a good R&B song, some candles going.
This don't
Keep
sound
the lights down.
This sounds like a different kind of vibe.
I know.
Saying.
That's what you're thinking. You get your mind out of the gutter, sir.
No.
What I'm saying is,
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, you get some lights going, like lights like this, or you turn the lights down, and you get a good R&B song,
just
and
sure I'm not around you while you.
No. That's me and my wife time.
Oh, okay.
But like,
I'm just making sure.
So one thing that we like to do is, a lot of my older friends, they tell me all the time, oh, I like how you talk about how you and your wife talk about stuff, and y'all listen to each other. Like, me and Halia we'll just get together, like at the fire pit, and we'll just sit there and we'll just talk to each other.
Yeah.
Nothing else going on. We got the lights going or got the music going.
Aww.
And we'll just sit there and we'll just talk about like having kids. We'll talk about things we want to do as parents one day. Like, we'll talk about stuff we want to cook for each other. Like that is my comfort zone, is having those vibes, whether it's, good show or good music. Like, I love it.
I think it's important no matter where you're at in life. Like the thing that really frustrated me in some of the other places that I've lived is like when I get done fighting the world, right? If I'm at school or I'm at work or whatever, like I want to be able to come home and stop fighting the world. I want to be able to just like take all the armor off, to put my corporate face down,
right,
and just be able to like relax and spend time without having to like think too hard about what's going on. And that I think is the hard part a lot of times when people don't turn it off when they get home, especially if you don't have like a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever that you can like be yourself around. And by be yourself, I don't mean like be a jerk or whatever or treat them like trash. I mean just like
literally relax.
Yeah, like you don't have to worry
relax.
about, okay, if I say something that's kind of goofy or sideways, they're going to look at me funny and not like me anymore and all that kind of silliness. Like being able to like come home and really be just like yourself and be able to communicate with that person.
Yeah.
And not feel like, oh, they're going to I got to carefully curate every single word that comes out of my mouth or they're going to take it the wrong way.
See, that's the thing, right? So when people ask me about marriage in general, that's what I always tell them. That's what I love the most about marriage.
Yeah,
is that it takes the need to try so hard out of it, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of older family members will say, keep dating, always do the stuff you did to get her to keep her, right? Like so I got that part. We do the date night. I take Halia all over the world. We do everything,
right?
But like that piece that you do when you're trying to get the girl. The whole, I gotta look apart. I gotta talk the part. Don't say nothing stupid. Don't kiss them too early. Like,
it's too much stress.
Like, you don't
constantly.
When you get married, for the right reasons, to the right person.
Right.
Like when you get married, there's supposed to be a certain level of, like, taking a certain level of comfort.
Yeah.
Where you and that person, y'all vibe in a way that even if you tried, you could not vibe with somebody else like that. So that's what makes them literally a part of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so the reason I wanted to talk about it is because sometimes I think, I've told you this before, that I hope everyone one day gets to experience literally like the unreal happiness that comes with being married to a person that genuinely wants to be married to you.
Yeah.
Like it's such a special feeling. Like when you reach that level of comfort, that's why I brought up the night that I put that TV stand together.
Yeah.
It came in the mail, and I remember I slid that thing in there, and I started putting all putting the pieces together and screwing all the stuff in, and I'm like, man, this is nice. But when we got the candles going, and like Halia's brought the candles in, not me.
Right.
Like
she
she's
added
like,
something.
oh, yeah, like she brings her piece.
Yeah.
Like I bought those plants. I'm such a weirdo, but I bought those plants that I had been thinking about from Target. I was like, oh, I want the fake plants to put on my TV stand because I don't want plants that are going to die because it's not near the window.
Right.
But I was like, but I specifically want the Target ones.
Because you like the way they look.
Yes, and they're just tall enough to not be too tall. And so comfort is so important for mental health, for physical health, I think, for your sleep. Because if you don't have that at home, you are not, like, going back out into the world, bro.
And I think that's, so what's hard about that is I think you have to understand, like, you have to be honest and open with yourself in a way that a lot of people have a hard time with before you can figure out what you need to find that comfort with another person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, one of the things that I kind of struggle with a lot with other people, and that I didn't necessarily struggle with Justice, was like, I get Justice in a way that I don't have to guess what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily because she's all that great at communicating it. I just am really good at interpreting her body language, like the things she says, the things she's not saying.
Right.
Like I can I can figure out all of the information that I need to, like, try and, okay, hold on, she don't feel well right now. Let me take this stuff off her. Okay, she's really stressed out. Let me see if I can, get her in a good mood. Let me tell a joke so I can make her smile and stop thinking about whatever it is that's stressing her out. So, like, being able to, like, have that sort of, that level of communication with another person is very, very difficult. And it does require a lot of work and a lot of investment on your part. And if you mess around and you pick the wrong person to like put that investment into, somebody who isn't really down for you, or doesn't really have your best interest at heart, or is like not in a place themselves where they are ready to receive that kind of interaction from another person, it can be very, very damaging. Because, like, if you give somebody a present and then they're like, oh, that's ugly. Like, you draw a picture, you don't draw for real, but you really want to learn, and you draw a picture and somebody's like, that's ugly. Like, that might make you never want to draw again. It's the same thing when you're trying to find, like, that kind of bond with another person. If you get slapped down hard enough, bro, like, it breaks something in you that some people can't ever put back.
Right.
Like,
you put up a wall, and then the people that potentially could love you the way that you deserve to be loved,
like, they can't get through to you
not be
no more.
there.
Yeah.
You're not,
And that like, to me, that's the thing that's super sad, man. Like, I've been like that dude who, was spurned, and I was like, oh, girls don't want me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've been there. I've been in that headspace before. But I think the problem always ends up being the only way you get to stay in that headspace is if you just don't go talk to people.
Right.
Like, if you have any male friends, they not going to let you stay there.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop wallowing. Come on. Let's go hang out. Let's go do whatever.
Right.
And after you stop thinking of like that for a little while, it kind of be like, whatever. Something will happen.
Yeah.
And you kind of being able to change up your environment and change up your habits and your routines. That was something I was talking to Dad about it not too long ago. And he was like, because I was like super stressed about work and I couldn't figure out why. Like, I was just like miserable every day trying to figure out, okay, man, I got to go to work. I'm so stressed out. I got so much stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. He's like, listen, you got to figure out why you're not resetting. And it might just be you're too into the same routine. You go to work, you go home, you do whatever it is you do. You go to bed, you wake up, you do the same thing over and over
every day. Yeah.
And after a certain amount of time, if you don't break that routine, like, your brain gets into this almost like cage of, oh, you're trapped. Like
right.
everything's
Facts.
terrible in your trap. You can't do nothing else. This is the rest of your life. And like feeling that way is really, really harmful. So like just doing, like I would just break my routine. So like I added some stuff to the week. Like I try to talk to different people, I try to do different stuff. You know, I come over here, I talk to you, whatever. But just having new stuff in the routine, changing it up. And this week I go and I do something different.
Yeah.
This week maybe me and Justice go try something we ain't tried before. Being able to have, because I'm a creature of routine. So like I like the stuff I like to do.
Yeah, me too. But the problem is, what happens when you do that is, one,
you wear it out.
You do not experience new things.
True.
And two, yeah, you are susceptible to burnout.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of times, I tell people all the time, you know, people always say to me and Halil, like, oh, y'all always traveling, y'all always doing this, y'all always well, we do stuff because, you know, the majority of people's job is monotonous. You do the same thing every day. Yep. You go to work, you do the same thing. Day out. And, you know, the vacations we take is not just because we want to do an extravagant thing,
right?
But it's because I want the opportunity to say, okay, I've been doing the same thing for 3 months since the last time we did something.
Let's take a break.
Let's go do something else.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's important. And
yeah.
so if you want to make sure, again, like I said earlier, to maintain your own mental health, like, because you're doing the same thing, it will drive you crazy. Like,
yeah.
So,
nah, I definitely feel that.
And then one more point that you had brought up was having a good set of people around you. Like, if you got good male friends, they'll get you out. Bro. Like, you cannot stress enough how important it is to keep positive company, because
yes,
you know, you've heard the saying, misery loves company. Everybody's heard that. But also the fact that, you know, one thing about me is I like to keep people around me that are better than me.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got something to shoot for. You got people who are pushing you to be like, oh, I want to be lazy today.
Right. Because I feel like
I just got on Facebook. I saw my friends doing this. Man, I can't be lazy. I got to get out here and hustle. I got to go do something.
Because I feel like I am that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know about myself. I push people to be the best versions of themselves.
True.
So I'm not, you know, I will fight you to better you.
True.
Even if if you're a person that I care about.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I need that, right? So a good example is one of my line brothers, one of my fraternity brothers, Jason. Jason pushes me. You know, I've got friends from work that are doing very well, and you know, we're around the same age. And it's like, man, like, what did you do to get X, Y, and Z? How did you do that? Who did you talk to? Like, tell me what steps you took. Like, Halil's got a cousin like that, where, you know, I talk to him and I'm like, you know, what are some things that you do? What are some books that you read? Like, you know, it's important because if you don't want to remain stagnant, you want to make more money, you want to be healthier or smarter or whatever. Like, you got to talk to people that know what they're talking about.
True.
So, you know, I talked to Halil's dad about lifting weights. I talked to our dad about success in general.
Yeah.
I talked to whoever is good at something.
You try to extract what you can from, like, their experiences.
Because it's super important. If you just hang out with people that are just either sucking off of you as far as, like, bringing your energy down.
Yeah.
Or people that are, you know, y'all at the same level. But nobody's really pushing anybody.
Right, y'all not pushing each other. Y'all just kind of like, hey, look what I did. Hey, look what I did. Y'all
don't be the prettiest girl in the group. That's what I'm saying. Don't just be the queen bee or the top of the hill, because you need to be poured into. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of crazy. So there's a lot of people who I think their first problem is like, they're like, oh, I don't know how to make friends, because I've been there. Like, I've been that awkward dude who didn't know how to meet people. But I think if you're stuck in that place, like, the hardest thing for me was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go do some stuff I don't think I want to do. So, like, when I was in college, I felt super uncomfortable the whole time I was there. Like, it was just, there were some people there that were like, I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this person. There was, like, just stuff that was going on, and I was like, I'm not really feeling that. I'd rather be chilling out by myself. I felt like that
in college after freshman year, because, as you know, I was in the band.
Yeah.
So I had plenty of friends.
Yeah, band is different.
But,
like, band is prepackaged.
But when I got out of the band, all of the friends I made were still in the band, or didn't come back to school because they were in band so much they didn't pass. Which I had a lot of those.
Yeah.
But all of my band friends didn't want to talk to me anymore because
you weren't in the band.
They were begging. They were like, "Yo, why'd you quit? Why'd you quit?" And I was like, "Look,
come back.
I can't afford to go to school and not have any money."
Yeah.
You know, because band is all day, all night.
Yeah.
So
Which means you
the
can't
first
work,
semester,
you can't do nothing.
the first semester, your life is so structured. Yeah, you're going to the calf and then back to band. So
Yeah.
I didn't need money, but I wanted money.
Right.
Like, I can't go out and get Chinese food on the weekend when we don't have a game.
Right.
I can't, like, I don't have any money. I had to get a job. So all the money that I worked and stuff to have in high school that I saved, I spent most of it freshman year.
Yeah.
And by that semester when band was over,
you're like, now, okay, I got to do something because I can't be out here with no. And
so that was the awkward time started sophomore year of college. Like I worked a lot, so I didn't make a lot of friends, and but then that changed when I crossed. A lot of things, to be honest with you, a lot of things about me changed when I crossed because
as it should.
I grew so many. First of all, I grew so many friends, but you're around a bunch of professional guys that teach you not only how to join the fraternity, but they teach you how to be a better guy. They teach you about yourself. Like I learned about myself. I'm a lot stronger than I realized.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more confident than I realized. I'm a lot more capable than I realized. And so those guys, like, I will never have that, oh, I don't know how to make friends, awkward guys by myself again.
But I think the problem is, like, you have to be a certain kind of person to be interested enough to inquire about joining a fraternity.
Yeah,
and
especially
I think,
on the HBCU campus.
Yeah. So, and I think the problem for a lot of people, like, this was my problem when I was going to VCU, because I think there was a Sigma chapter at VCU. It just was so underground I could never find it, right? There was a whole huge issue where, like, I knew lots of people, but, like, I wasn't going back to comfort. Like, I didn't know these people enough to talk to them about anything real. Everything was real topical. It was real surface level. So, like, hey, how you doing? Nobody ever really wants an answer to that question if you're not doing well. If everything's not okay, and you're like, oh, man, nah, actually, everything's terrible. I kind of hate myself today. Like, I ate a waffle this morning. I feel super fat, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants that answer because then it's, like, awkward. And you just get that, oh, well, no, man, you're cool. Everything's cool. Everything's going to be all right. So, like, figuring out a way to navigate that weirdness, that awkwardness. And I think part of it is, like, trying to internalize positivity, like, for yourself. And that was, like, a big thing for me.
Yeah.
When I was working for VDOT, bro, I was a miserable person. I'm just trying to tell you. I was just mad. And, like, all of this, like, and there was a bunch of situations in my life. Some of it was my fault. A whole lot of it that really won't. That I was just, like, upset about. And, like, I internalized all that frustration. And it would come out, like, at the randomest times. Like, I would be at work and just be mad for no reason. Yeah. And I wouldn't be, like, an upset person, but I also wasn't happy. And it would show, like, in my work, in my desire to do stuff, to try new stuff, all that sort of stuff. So once I started trying to be positive personally, like, listen, I'm going to be the happiest person at work even if I don't want to be there. Because I'm lucky to even have a place that I can go and work. This job is cool. It ain't what I want to be doing, but it's cool. It's something different. It's not Firehouse. It's a whole lot of people out here who are in a whole lot worse position than me. I need to be positive about that.
See, one thing about me, so everybody in my job knows, for anybody out there that doesn't know, I used to sell cars. And now, that job paid the bills.
True.
I actually did pretty good selling cars, to be honest. I was relatively good at it, but I knew that wasn't the job for me, and it's really a miserable way to live your life. Shout out to all the car salesmen because
there you go.
It is a miserable life. And one day we're going to sit down and I'm going to explain to you my personal experience. Everybody's experience may be different, but I'm going to explain my experience there. And so, like, now in my current job, I tell them all the time, like, at least I ain't got to sell cars. You ain't going to hear me complaining. I say that all the time. I've been there for 4 years, and I say all the time.
That's your tagline, huh?
You ain't going to hear me complaining. I mean, it could always be worse. And when other people complain to me, I'll tell them, you could be selling cars, so I guess it's not that bad, huh? And they're like, no, it is that bad. I'm like, not really. What time you say you get off? 2:30 p.m.? Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about that.
I mean, and
you don't work Saturdays?
And this is the crazy part, right? As annoying as my job is, bro.
It's not the dealership?
No. And it's not, like, for me, it's not VDOT. It's not perpetual contractor.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst job I've ever had. Because even my VDOT job was, like, okay. But there were things about the VDOT job that were just distinctly bad. There were issues with poor management where like it wasn't even necessarily that the management directly over me that was bad. It was like decisions at the tippy top were just trash. They would make decisions about manning. They would make decisions about personnel. They would make decisions about contracting, like which company to go with, that had absolutely horrible implications for everybody who worked there. And they just
it just would just be what it is.
It's a non-factor.
Yeah,
bro, y'all figure it out. Like the fact that y'all don't get good health care anymore, whatever. We don't care about
sorry.
it. Yeah.
Don't get sick. Like this, like they said in Daredevil.
Yeah.
My advice: don't get sick.
Yeah. So like stuff like that, I look at that and I'm like, man, like where I am now, I would never have to deal with that. Even the worst employee at the place I work now gets treated better than the best employee when I was working at VDOT. So
yeah, and that's my point. And so wrapping this back to comfort, right?
That's right. Tie it in.
And I was Googling the definition because I wanted to bring the definition in. So there's two definitions that I'm looking at here. One of them says a state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint. But the second one is the one that I was really feeling. It says the easing or alleviation of a person's feelings of grief or distress. So when I think about my actual comfort, because the discomforts are never going to go away. They don't disappear.
Right.
No, tomorrow you're going to have to get back up and go back to work. True. Tomorrow you might have a bill or you might have an issue or you might have something fall apart at home. You got to buy a new one, whatever. But that comfort zone is when you light those candles in your life and whatever your comfort zone is when you get that good meal or when you and that person that means the most to you sit down and y'all get those vibes together. It's like,
and you know what?
It's almost a spiritual connection that me and Halia have. It is in those moments.
It is, and you know what? Part of it too is like you have worked really hard to get to a place where you can provide that not just for you but for her too.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest part for most people, the hardest part for me, I can't even say for most people. The hardest part for me was like genuinely believing, okay, I just got to keep pushing in this direction. I know I'm going to get there if I just keep pushing. And, like, seeing it come to fruition gives me more joy than I can, like, articulate.
Yes.
The hardest part about going through, like, your early 20s, it was just like, bro, I am suffering so bad. I'm trying so hard to just scrape out a little bit of, like, sanity and comfort where I could just like go home and not be stressed out about how I'm gonna pay bills or not be stressed out about like if my car is gonna break down and I'm not gonna be able to get to work tomorrow. So like getting your life situated to a point, getting your life to a point where you actually have a plan that you can act on without everything going haywire at every turn is really, really hard.
Well, I think that was for me, that's the difference between me and a lot of other people, right? So yes, when I got my first place, it's a little hard. I wasn't making very much money back then, and bills were a little cheaper back then. But like, it was hard, honestly. Like we had moments where it was like, oh man, like we're really struggling. Like Halia broke her ankle back then.
Yeah, I do remember that.
She wasn't working, and so I rolled my sleeves up, got to do, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, I would say for those people, like back then, I set a plan in motion. All those years ago, you talking 2017.
Yeah.
And my plan back then was go to grad school, have a big wedding, get Halia finished with school, was to, financially get us to where I would arguably where we are now.
I mean, but you know what's crazy?
Like, it's trusted the process, man.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I think you can't just trust the process because everybody's process ain't good. And
that's just facts, though. No, that's true.
That's just honest. Like
I put this plan in motion like 6 years ago, but
your plan was good because it was informed by like the successes of all the people around you.
Yeah,
you took
and I
all
definitely
of the
asked
good pieces.
a billion questions.
Yes, and you took every. But I don't even necessarily think it's just having a plan. Like there is something to be said for your ability to be consistent, because I think what a lot of people suffer from, myself included, is not an inability to come up with a plan or to execute on a plan. It's being consistent, discipline, being consistent about executing on that plan every single day until you accomplish the goal that you set out, and discarding things that are not.
Now that I see that now with like
achieving your goal.
I have some friends that you know, they have goals.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, like, the hardest part I think about doing the things that we've done over the years, is the discipline, right?
True.
So Halia and I take a lot of trips.
Mm.
Well, that requires me, when we're not on a trip, like right now,
not spend that money.
Every single pay period, we hit them paychecks off with what, you know, okay, we're going to put some money over here for the house.
Yeah.
We're going to put some money over here for the trips. We're going to put some money over here for the extra savings account for anything that might happen. Like, but I can't say, I don't really want to do that this pay period.
Right. Let me splurge. Let me splurge
because
a little bit.
when it comes to, we wanted to take a cruise. Well, I guess we can't go because 4 times out of the 12 months, we decided, nah. We're not going to trust the process. So that discipline is so important, you know, and I dumped that into like Eric and Alyssa, our younger siblings, and Jayla. Like, it's like discipline, because if you stick to it, if you put a plan in place and you are serious about it, if you stick to it, man, I'm telling you, at the end, you're going to look back like me and Leah do and look back and say, man,
it's so nice.
We done bought this house. We was talking about buying a house and we bought a house.
And we did it. And you know what? And sometimes, like, because I don't have that stick-to-itness that you have, right? So, like, I struggle a lot with being able to stick to a plan long-term. Because usually I got, like, 3 months of stamina. And after 3 months, something will happen. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I just got to do something a little different.
I know, because I'll be arguing with you about your goals.
Yes. You're like, nah, that wasn't the plan.
That's not what we talked about.
You said we were gonna do this, and then this, and then this. What is this? What is this other thing you're doing now? So, but I think if you, the biggest thing for most people is like, look at your goal and ask yourself, are you still moving towards your goal? Because sometimes you're going to get thrown off the course a little bit.
Right.
But as long as you keep moving, like, usually you can get yourself back on track. And I think that's the thing that people let themselves get defeated by. It's not even...
Well, that's because you don't have good milestones. If you got milestones in there, those milestones will give you that rejuvenation of like, man,
look how far I came from and look where I'm at now. But even...
Because if you hit those...
But the problem is, like, sometimes, again, everybody ain't got a good process. So even being able to set realistic milestones is really hard for some people.
Yeah.
Because, like, so the one I struggle with is my weight. Because I done lost and gained crazy amounts of weight. When I tell you I've lost 100 pounds in a year, and then I gained 100 pounds the next year, like, it has happened to me more than once.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
My weight has just had crazy swings. I'm super heavy right now. So, like, I'm trying to get myself back on the road of, okay, I need to eat right. I need to drink my gallon of water. I need to actually go to the gym, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. The hardest part for me is never losing the weight. The hardest part for me is losing enough weight, one, to actually get, like, down enough so that I can see
that you feel the weight loss.
Yeah. Sometimes I eat, maybe that's what it is. Because I never feel as big as I am or as small as I am. So, like, I've lost 100. Nah,
because I'm 50 pounds lighter than I was when I was in that apartment.
True. And it shows too.
The problem that I was having was, honestly, I didn't even know. Like, I really never knew I was as big as I was.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not where I want to be now. But, like, I told you the story of Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
We went to Busch Gardens. It's a theme park. Get on, we waited in this long line. The new ride. We get up to the front. My wife's brother was working the ride. And I go up, pull the thing down. Couldn't get it to close. Couldn't get the belt on. Couldn't even get the thing all the way down.
Yeah.
Got up, and I was like, okay, that's enough. Like, for real. And I went on the most strictest of strict diets. And I'm talking gym every single day.
You know what's crazy? Like, the first time, so you remember I took that job where I flew over to France, right?
Yeah, I remember.
That was when I lost the most weight because I hated getting on the planes.
Because you were uncomfortable.
Bro, being on a plane for 16 hours, I'm already too tall for most planes. So that was the first problem. Like, I'm tall enough, I am just tall enough to be uncomfortable on every plane I've ever been on because I have
you gotta
long
do
enough
neck
legs.
Thing. Yeah, you sit down and your knees
and it's
hurt.
my knees.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm already uncomfortable because I'm tall. But then also, now I'm wide. So, like, I'm tall and I'm wide and these seats are, like, super small.
Super small, yep. especially American Airlines.
Yes, bro. So like the first going over there, I was like, bro, that was so uncomfortable. So I'm over there and I'm in my room in a hotel, just working out every day. I'm like doing push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, squats, and doing like inverted dips every single day. Trying to get it together.
Yeah.
I lost like 150 pounds while I was over there, and I could tell because like I definitely like on the plane there, I was super uncomfortable. On the plane back, I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gained like 50 pounds while I was here for like a month.
And you went back.
And I went back and I lost it. I lost it all back. As soon as I got back in that condenser, I lost the weight again. But the problem that I always have is like I said, is the biggest thing is consistency. So like that's like for me, that's the thing I'm working on now. Is like being consistent. So like
that's hard. No,
but
I deal with
like
that too.
we talked about, there's a push and pull because you can't be so consistent that you start driving yourself crazy.
Which that is a problem that I have where like I'll get to the point where I like, okay, I'll give you an example, the wedding.
Yeah.
So I had my wedding back in March, and half of me not eating back then was I really was busy.
Right.
But the other half was, Aaron, I want to be thin at the wedding. Aaron, you want to look good. You want to look good.
Yeah.
And like that was the lightest I've been probably since 11th grade.
But you had a specific goal with a specific motive.
And like I was so motivated that like I have a picture of myself the night before the rehearsal dinner.
Right.
So that was the last day that I wasn't like full on in wedding mode. No, it was the morning of the rehearsal dinner. Actually, I was at home. I was getting my stuff together, and you remember we spent the night out there.
Yeah.
So I didn't come back home until after the wedding.
Right.
So the day of the rehearsal dinner, I took a picture of myself. I was like, wow, this is the smallest I've been since high school, and yeah, I'm about 10 pounds heavier than that. Maybe I don't think. No, I'm about 10 pounds heavier than that. But like I had lost all this weight over the years because I'm from where I started to where the wedding was, I probably lost 62, 63 pounds because maybe more, but about 60 something pounds. And that discipline, I think, it's hard when you're big.
True.
To not just convince yourself to try, but like to keep going.
Right.
So, you know, that discipline piece is the hard part. Like I arguably have pretty good discipline on a lot of things, but the weight loss was that was a challenge for me.
Listen, and the worst thing for me is every job I've ever had, they feed me junk. So like
the dealership,
oh my god! So like that's the problem I got at the job I got right now.
Yeah.
Like if we get a storm, oh my, it's Bojangles for breakfast, it's Olive Garden for dinner, it's Hardee's for breakfast, it's Five Guys for dinner.
See, that's the problem though. My job don't feel.
It's Chick-fil-A for breakfast, is what I don't know, Carrabba's for dinner.
Oh y'all,
bro, yes, they are spinning a grip.
That's
making sure everybody has food.
They would get Golden Corral and everything, like for real.
Yes, and so like for me, a lot of times what I try to portion control it. So I'm like, all right, listen, you're gonna be eating junk, but you eating one biscuit and you're gonna drink water all day.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go back and get a second biscuit.
I don't know about that.
And listen, and I'll
no,
be hungry.
no. You're right.
And you be hungry, but if you
what you want to try to do, at least what worked for me.
Ideally, you bring your own food.
Meal prep. Yeah. Because for me, and I remember my coworkers used to laugh at me. We were still in the office because we would always eat together every day. Like,
and you would be like, "Nah, I got my lunch."
Yeah, and no, because like sometimes they'll go out to eat, and so I'd ride like in the car,
right,
and then we'd come back to actually eat. Or sometimes I heat my food up, and we go like they were going to McDonald's for lunch or whatever.
Yeah,
like I heat my food up, and then I get in the car, and we'd all go to McDonald's, and literally we're sitting in McDonald's. I'm eating my meal prep while they're eating their McDonald's because
that's discipline, right
there. Or we, they come back to the office. Sometimes somebody would just run and get everyone's food,
everybody's food,
and then we
bring
actually
it back.
take our lunch break.
Yeah,
but like no,
that's the way to do it.
At least for me, that was the only thing that worked. And so, anyway, comfort is such an important, I think, an important part of mental health. It's an important part of happiness because if you can't be comfortable, you're gonna be irritable. In my experience, when I'm uncomfortable, I am standoffish. I am unhappy. So,
but you know what? Something that I feel like people, maybe it's just not articulated enough, right?
Yeah.
There's a part of comfort that requires like work that people don't recognize. Because like part of you being comfortable is like the house being clean.
Yeah, me
Like,
too. Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Like the house has to be. It ain't got to be spotless, but like it has to be a certain
clean,
level.
though.
Yeah, it has to be a certain level of together. It has to be a certain level of clean for you to be comfortable. Because if you come home, like something that really aggravates me is if I come home from work and the house is dirty, bro, I can't do anything else. I gotta go clean the house. So like, I'll be annoyed because it's my fault that the house ain't straight. Like, I left my shoes out. I didn't do the laundry before I left. I didn't run the dishwasher, whatever. So, like, it'll be stuff that I was like, oh, I need to do this. I'll get to it later, whatever. And then now I'm home from work. I'm tired. I don't want to do this now. I really just want to go, relax and decompress after work. But, like, I can't even be relaxed because this stuff got to get done. And if I don't do it right now, it's gonna be even more time for me to just be sitting and being like, ugh, I really need to take care of that.
Like so unclean house is one of my discomforts too. Yeah,
it's such a delicate balance of, listen, there's a certain amount of work, and like you said, like you gotta sacrifice some things on the front end so you can have those trips, so you can have those opportunities to do something else and to break up your routine.
You want to talk about some comfort,
bruh? Making the figuring out what your balance has to be is so hard, and it's so important. People really need to spend more time just saying, okay, what things in my life do I need to feel like I'm like my best self? I can think clear. I'm happy when I go home. Like when I go home, that's the place I want to be.
Right.
And figuring out what things you need to remove. Like some people got too much going on when they go home, and that's why they mind is all in shambles because they go home and they still, like, the kids are screaming, the house is dirty, they got 15 meetings to go to. Like if you in that position and you can't figure out a place where you can just go and like,
right,
you never gonna really be set. You never gonna have a
and
good
that's
enough base to build
that.
off of.
I think also one day we'll talk about communication. I think a big piece of that is communication.
Yeah,
because if you and your whoever your significant other is, if y'all don't, one, like you said, do the work of creating that comfort, and that requires a discipline and long-term planning, short-term planning, all that.
Yeah,
but also, you guys have to discuss what it takes to make that comfort.
Yeah.
So I know what things make my wife comfortable, and I know what things make her uncomfortable. Similarly, she knows, okay, Aaron needs X, Y, and Z, and if I'm not doing X, Y, and Z,
it makes a problem.
He's not gonna be hitting on 100%.
Yeah.
Right. So, I have, and I'm weird. I got a bunch of like rando.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to call them rules, but I have a bunch of rando
You
like
got hang-ups. You got stuff
things
that
that are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like they have to happen. I need my house clean. I like my wife to have a nice pedicure.
Yeah.
I like when I don't want her. I don't want my wife worrying about certain things. Like I don't want her worrying about, oh, money, I don't have enough, or like we don't do that. Right. I handle that. So, like those little hangups.
Yeah.
Everyone has them. She has them. You have them.
Yeah.
Everyone out there has them. Like
everybody has things they just like. Certain things have to be just so for you to even function as a human being.
Right.
Like
but
some stuff you just can't.
Don't communicate those things.
Yeah.
You are never going to achieve the level of comfort that we're talking about.
And
here.
you gotta have somebody that's compatible with like your hangups. Because I think that's the other problem that people have is like they are out looking for somebody who fills in certain check boxes, but like. If you find somebody that looks exactly like you want them to look, but they hate everything about the person that you are and the things you like to do, like, y'all, that's not gonna work.
And if they're filling your check boxes, but you're not filling their check boxes,
it's not gonna work.
Or even worse situation is they're filling your check boxes, but they hate doing it.
Yeah, and at that point, they're not really filling your check box.
Right.
And I think
they're just going through the motions.
They're just going through the motions because I think when you have a bunch of things that you do for somebody, but you do it begrudgingly, one, most people can pick up on that. Like after a while, it's going to become really obvious. You don't really want to do that.
Right.
Like it's some stuff that like I asked my wife to do, and she like, all right. And I'm like, all right, I really don't want to ask her to do that. I'm going to do that.
No, totally different. This is what I do.
Uh-oh.
I sprinkle them in.
Oh, you just
sprinkle them in. I mix them up with the vegetables and the rice. So
that's
what I like
the
to
right
do,
way to do it.
For example, and then a lot of times, Julia and I are such a good team, so I know there's certain stuff she don't feel like doing it.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll say, look, these are the couple of things I really need done. A lot of times it's cleaning up stuff, and I'll be like, look, I'll do X, 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 and X, and if you can just do these two things, or you can do these 3, and I'll do these 3.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't feel. I was like, okay, you want to do mine? She's like, no. I'm like, exactly. So like, I mean,
listen, that's a system. My system is listen. Okay, I have this whole set of responsibilities. This is your thing. You just take care of this thing. And then she has, okay, I take care of all of these things. This is your thing in the basket of things you don't like to do.
Right.
So, like, I don't care for cooking. It's not my preference.
Oh, I love
okay?
That.
I know you do. I don't. So, but I've taken it upon myself. I'm like, all right, listen, I don't like cooking, but I know cooking every day is like it's a huge undertaking. You get super fatigued by that. So, all right, I'm going to take one day every week, every other week, whatever we can work out. I'm gonna just come in. You just don't worry about it. I'm gonna cook today.
Right.
And like having that opportunity for like, oh, okay, that'll be nice.
That's how I feel about
just breaking it up.
Folding the laundry. That's like the one chore that I hate. Like, I'll wash the laundry. I'll clean the bathroom. You know, but I'll do the litter boxes. Like, I'll do the kitchen. Oh, I hate folding. Honestly, if you remember, I hated sweeping.
You did.
Halia loves to sweep, and Halia has no problem folding the laundry. So a lot of times she likes to just do the laundry herself. But like, so what I'm learning now,
at least she don't fold your pants wrong.
Yeah, well, yes, she does. But what I'm learning now is okay, I can't just allow her to literally fold all the laundry.
Yeah.
So she's a lot more efficient as far as folding the laundry. If I fold some of it.
Yeah. You don't even have to fold that much.
But you can't just say because you don't like folding the laundry, you're never gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so like that's the type of stuff you learn.
Yes, and you know that's it's such a hard. I think a lot of people have such a hard time with this because like when you're a kid and you have to do all this stuff that you really don't want to do, you're like, oh, I want to be an adult. I'm never gonna do this again. But you really will, because as an adult, I think there are so many things that have to happen in order for your life to function. Like, you have to go to work.
Right.
Like, people try to get around it. They try to, like, find all of these
There's
ways.
no get-rich-quick scheme, man. It's not going to work.
Exist. The most fun, most high-paying job that seems like it's not work is still work. Yeah. Like, there are still parts of it that are unpleasant. And I think that's the part that I struggle with. Because, like, I really wanted to do music production full-time. I had, like, a little studio that I was running with this other dude in Richmond.
Yeah.
Like, we was doing it. We had clients, yada, yada. He really had clients. I would just come. I'd be doing the studio engineer thing. But the part that I struggle with so bad was, like, I love doing this music production. But the parts of it that I really don't like, the client services portion of it, I can't get around that. There's no like excising that part of the job. And if you aren't willing to go 100% and really put your all into all the parts of the job that are necessary for you to be successful, like you never gonna get it off the ground. You never really gonna get the blossoming that you expect to see when you put as much time and energy and effort into something like that. As you would if you really put 100% into it. And that was always the thing that I struggled with. Is like, I still had a regular day job, and I would put all of my like real energy into the day job because I was like, that's what's really paying the bills. And so I just didn't have the same gusto that I feel like I needed to have for the studio stuff. And you got to bring that same mentality to your relationship. Like, you got to look at it and say, okay, this is what is going to make me happy. Like, this is the thing that I need in order to make me comfortable. So I got to bring 100% energy to this. I got to figure out ways to make it better and keep pushing forward and keep making improvements. Like, I got to be looking for problems, looking for things that are around the corner that might be tripping us up later, and start trying to make, like, even if you don't fix all the problems, start workshopping, start communicating with your partner. Hey, how do you feel about this thing? What do you think, what do you think would be some different ways we could do it?
Right.
Because sometimes there's things that aren't even problems, but just you do it one way, and like both of y'all hate the way you do it, but y'all just have never talked about it.
Yeah, like, and so one day when we sit down and talk about communication, I really want to touch on that. Touch on recognizing how the things you're saying are hitting their ears, and also recognizing how you have a little more power as far as like what you say. Like, we all know, the power of the tongue and blah blah blah. I got that. But what I'm saying is, you can say the same thing and get your point across
a slightly different
totally
way.
Different way. And so one day we're gonna get back to that. Yeah. But in the meantime,
because there's tons of parts of it. But
you definitely I want to make sure we focus. So
yes, because we're on comfort today.
Comfort is good. always, always remember you have to do the work of maintaining, achieving, and protecting your own comfort.
Yeah.
And make sure you communicate with your significant other the things that make you comfortable and uncomfortable. And your comfort zone should be at your house. So, favorite flavor of ice cream, go.
You go. I gotta think
Cookies and
about
cream. What are you doing?
it. Oh my god.
Okay,
Cookies and
I'll give
cream
you my
is
second
good.
favorite. Strawberry. Delicious.
Oh my god. I'm gonna be honest with
Okay,
you.
give me top 3.
Top 3: Rocky Road,
What?
mint chocolate chip, and cookies and cream. Cookies and cream does make top
Rocky
3.
Road's your favorite.
What? Yes, I love the. Okay, so here's really the problem. My actual favorite is the AJ Gators like Florida ice cream that they don't sell anymore. There, maybe it's not AJ Gators. Maybe that's wrong. It's the Florida Gators ice cream. It came with these. It came with these like caramel alligator things, and it was so good. And they don't sell it anymore. They had it at Granddad's house like twice.
Something is telling me I can probably find it.
You probably can. And if
But
you
anyway,
do,
yeah, go
don't
ahead.
tell me about it because I don't need it. Okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you're right. Discipline.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
So
that's right.
anyway. All right, I just wanted to kind of do a little carry us out on that.
You're just trying to go to the left a little bit.
Yeah, comfort is cool. So,
Yeah.
it's just a comfort food.
True. Nah, honestly, my comfort food is pizza, and that's my problem.
Well, I like pizza a lot more than I ever
Bruh.
did before now.
Bruh.
Like, when I was younger and used to love pizza, I remember I liked pizza, but you used to love pizza when we were kids.
Why are you saying used to? I don't.
No,
understand
what I'm
used to
saying.
stuff
I'm
is.
saying specifically when we were children,
Yeah.
I didn't like it that much. The
True.
way that I felt like you would talk about stuff that had hamburger in it, like meatloaf and hamburgers, and like
Not a fan.
I felt like you ate it,
Yeah.
but it was like,
Meh.
you
No,
know, like you would eat a hamburger, you would eat a cheeseburger,
Yeah,
whatever, but it
but-
wasn't like something you were like,
Nah.
ooh, a burger. Like
Nah.
that's how I
I was
felt about
never
pizza.
excited to eat a hamburger.
As a
True.
child, I would
That's
just
true.
eat the pizza because they bought it, but it was
Nah.
like, but now,
Pizza?
what's your favorite kind?
Me? Sausage.
No, not topping.
Oh.
Yeah, right. No. I mean, like my favorite kind is New York style pizza, like the thin, New York
I
pizza.
see what you're saying.
and then stuffed crust.
It's hard.
Stuffed
Okay,
crust
I
is-
really like stuffed crust, but I think the problem with stuffed crust is most places have like hit and miss.
Yeah, that's
quality
the problem,
pizza.
bro. It's
Pizza
like
is not good.
yeah, pizza and stuffed
Little
crust is still good
Caesars-
though.
Little Caesar stuffed crust is probably the best stuffed crust I've had in a while.
Am I getting stuffed crust pizza today?
I don't know.
I might be getting stuffed crust pizza today, but
Listen,
anyway,
you might
let's
do.
focus. Let's focus because we're
Right?
wrapping up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. Listen, this has actually been a really cool convo. We're gonna have to definitely like get in here and talk about communication because I think like comfort. You can't be comfortable in your environment if you aren't able to communicate it, at the very least with yourself. You got to be able to like reason through the things that you need and be able to identify those things. And like there are some tools that I think you really have to have. And once you have those tools for yourself, like being able to apply those tools to to like your interactions with other people becomes very, very easy. It's kind of funny because when I was working for Vita, I was going through a lot of mental health stuff. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what tools can I get to try and like think my way around how I feel all the time? Because like I'm still gonna do all the stuff I have to do, but I need some like mental judo to like get myself out of these funks. Because sometimes I would just be in a bad mood, and I know that there's no reason for me to be in a bad mood, but I couldn't make the turn to turn it off long enough to like get myself to a good mood. Because sometimes if you just like listen to some good music, even if you're in a bad mood, it'll put you in a different headspace. You stop thinking about it for a
That's
while,
what I
and
told
it'll go
you.
away.
It's the vibes.
I know. But like you gotta be able to talk yourself into giving yourself the stuff you need to get there.
Now I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm probably the best person on the planet of talking myself into stuff.
Yeah.
Because I can talk myself into succeeding on something just because.
Yeah, because you
Like,
can
I
put that
literally-
on yourself. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like
You
I
just
told
went,
myself,
I'm gonna do this.
I told myself, okay, you didn't like this ride at Busch Gardens, so you're gonna lose weight now.
Yeah.
And I was literally, that was it. Like I meal prepped for years just to not only lose that weight, but I lost like 40 pounds and then 50 pounds, and then I just maintained it. And I was like, okay, it's more comfortable weight. Like I want to keep going, and I'm
Right.
even now I still work out and stuff like that, and I'm still going. But like no, like I don't know. that discipline piece. That is the key.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll lose the discipline and I'll be like stagnant. But anyway,
listen,
the discipline piece is the hard part.
90% of success is just doing the same thing, is doing the right thing longer than everybody else was willing to do it.
Right. And longer than you were willing to do it in the past.
Exactly. Because if you just, like, every day, if you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to do it one more day. You know what, I'm going to do it one more day. Eventually, like, you're either going to get good at it or you're not.
And that is why I'm not having stuffed crust pizza today.
Yeah. See? Look at that. Look at that. So, all right. Well, listen. This has been the Pensive Brothers podcast. I'm Elliot.
This is Aaron.
And we're out, man.